So, this is our board game. This is the last year of Carbon. There's a lot of stuff packed into this little box. The whole point of the game, let me just get in cozy. There we go. The whole point of this game is you are a renewable energy company, and so are the 2 to 3 other people playing with you. There is a very finite amount of carbon, non-renewable energy left in the world to keep the world going. Now the game it plays really heavily into that sort of end of the world doomsday-y aesthetic, and there's a lot of sarcasm and satire in there. But the whole point is, since there's such little carbon left in the world, you and 2 to 3 other renewable energy companies really have to ramp up and be able to take over the energy production of the world. Because, you know, if people aren't able to charge their iPads, if people can't connect to the internet, if people lose their sort of creature comforts, society's just going to collapse. Everyone's going to panic, and you can see it now with the pandemic. Even with, you know, with the economy shutting down, people are starting to freak out. I gotta say, mass protesting during a pandemic is one of the stupidest things you can do. If one person is infected in that whole crowd, it could spread it to every single other person in there, and especially since none of them have masks on. It's just so dangerous. It's so dangerous, and then you go home, and then you spread it to your family, and if someone in your family, if you have like a parent living with you, if they're 60, 70 plus, they're just, the mortality rate's just so much higher. It's especially with infants too, and Anyway, so I keep forgetting to mention this, but the way that you win the game is by donating the most energy by the end of the game. So there's 2 end conditions total for the game. A, the world collectively runs out of carbon, there's not enough energy to keep the world going at its current rate of consumption, everyone loses. But at the end of the game, whoever has the most energy blocks in the world energy pool, that's the bigger section of the box, that one person wins. This is our board game. Like I said, you're a renewable energy company that's using their energy to keep the world going. This is your player mat. This is a representation of how well your company is doing. So these are factories. I actually learned 3D modeling and 3D printing for this board game. So these factories, whenever a news card is flipped, they recharge with energy. If you think about with solar or electric, it's slowly accumulating energy over time based on the environment. That's essentially what these factories are doing. Now, there are other pieces, which are batteries. If you take a look at these guys here, these store energy between months, between seasons. The whole game, the last year of Carbon, takes place over the course of a single calendar year. Every season, we tally up how much energy everyone's donated to keep the world going, to see if we have enough energy to keep the world moving. You donate using these donation cups here. Look at those. Look at these guys here. These donation cups are what I spent a lot of that last video on. If you don't want to spend energy on your own infrastructure, or you're trying to keep the world going, you pop your energy from the factory, like so. So let's say a month's just started, your factories charge up, and then you think, all right, we need to keep the world going. There are 4 magic numbers for 4 players. The numbers are a little bit different for 3 players, but it's 12, 25, 38, and 60. That's how much energy everybody together has to donate to keep the world going. So, like I said, the game's called Last Year of Carbon. It takes place over the course of 1 calendar year. We break it down into seasons, so we start in spring. You have 3 months to collectively generate that amount of energy, 12. Ding, ding, ding. And then we get to something called the summit. And the summit is just a sort of representation of a government body having a checklist and saying, all right, how much energy was generated? Were we able to meet the world's needs? And if we're not, you'll notice that this box is divided into 2 parts. There is the carbon pool, which is a storage area for however much non-renewable energy there's left in the world, which at the start of the game, it's only 25 blocks. little dicey, not too much left to make up the difference. And then there's the World Energy Pool. So you go over the course of 3 months, you spend your energy on yourself to build up your infrastructure, to pay for cards, to screw over other players, and to donate energy. So, at the end of 3 months, everyone tallies up how much energy they donated. So I donated 2 for this season. The number we had to hit was 12. Since we didn't hit that number, the carbon here makes up the difference. And that's sort of the game loop. We go season by season. We improve our infrastructure. We improve our own image in the public's eye using our public relation points. We can spend some of the carbon on ourselves if we want, but any carbon you spend goes into your carbon footprint, which may have negative ramifications for you with the news cards. And oh, speaking of cards, we have 4 different decks for this game. 2 are sort of the month by month, these cards you can play at your leisure on your turn. And then we also have these guys. We have news cards and we have summit cards. Summit cards, you are given 1 at the start of the game. These are very powerful. They're either a goal you can try to achieve by the end of the game, or they are something you can play on your turn to give yourself an advantage. They might lower the cost of a factory, they might recharge all your batteries, they might screw over an opponent, or they might have a goal of having the most PR points. And if you have the most PR points, you get an energy boost at the end of the game. That sort of thing. However, another way you can get summit cards is at the summit. We do like magic draft rules in terms of picking out these summit cards. So if you donate the most, you get first pick. So 4 cards are given to you. You get to pick 1. And then the other 3 go on to the next guy, whoever donated the next amount. And then that guy picks 1. The 2 go to the next person. They pick 1. And then the person who donated the least does not get a summit card. And then we have the news cards. So this is our tally for keeping track of where we are at in the game. We have 3 months in front of us. So, like I said, the game runs over the course of a single calendar year. We go month by month. And then the summit happens, where we tally up, oh, did we reach enough energy to keep the world going? Or will carbon have to make up the difference? So every month we flip one of these guys out. So be careful what you wish for. Players with the highest PR may recharge all batteries, must have a PR of at least 1. So these are fun. They have all sorts of different effects depending on your board state. They usually are advantageous to some, disadvantageous to others. That one's fun. And this whole game, we spent a year of our lives in college. We spent every Sunday of our senior year in college in this place called the Wilbur Powerhouse at Lehigh. But we would build out these cards and we would try to think of clever situations and funny quips, and basically every single card minus the summit cards have a little bit of flavor at the bottom to give a little satirical, a little goofy, sometimes as Patch put it, lampoonish little quote that goes with every single one of these things, so that the effect is reflective by a real event that happens in this game world. And we have 200 cards. In this game, it's fun, but it's tough, and because it's decks of cards, there's a decent amount of randomness that happens with it. So basically, someone could hoard carbon the entire game and nothing bad ever happens to them. And then in other instances, one person gets like 1 carbon in their footprint and the game completely screws them over. But sometimes having a ton of PR points gives you massive boosts through the news cards. We spent on and off 4 years on this project, and today we're finally getting interest. We're finally saying, all right, here it is. This is how much it's going to cost. Join the news list so you can get updates about our game, so that we can tell you how it's going, and so that when the pandemic ends, we can finally push this out into the world. And I am so excited to get this thing out there. I'm as you can tell, I'm ecstatic about our progress with this. This massive collection. This was a excuse me. This was just a single page in my notebook a year ago. Like a year and a half ago at this point. And it's here now. So I recommend after you watch this, go to our site. We have a brand spanking new website showing off the game, the pieces, and just gathering interest. And sign up for a newsletter so that when this thing hits Kickstarter, you'll be able to get in, get early, and the early birds, they will get a discount as opposed to other people. Through the early birds, you'll probably get this game as cheap as it ever will be. Yeah, so that's my spiel. There are little things I want to tweak about it still, but this is something that I could ship, which is amazing. So, any questions and comments? Feel free to leave them. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Talk to me. I want to talk to you. I want to know what you're interested in. I want to know how your life is going. This whole pandemic thing is fucking terrifying, and I know that a lot of people aren't in advantageous positions, but I see on my Instagram feed, people are pumping out art and people are pumping out the things they've been sitting on and waiting to complete. And since we're all locked away, I see so much. It's weird. The human species is super fucking resilient in its ability to survive horrible things. And we will make it out of this, I know, because we made it out of pretty terrible situations beforehand. That being said, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for talking to me in the comments below. I always love reading your comments, and I love everything about this process. I know there's still areas I have to improve. I love helping out other people. And if no one said it before today to you, you have value. You are able to do great things. And I hope to see you again soon. Adios.